He said we should wait, please.
Okay.
Yeah, he said we can start now, Lydia.
Okay.
Yeah, just go for it.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Jubilee Extra. This is Jubilee Extra, and I am going to be your host today. My name is Labia, and with me this evening are very wonderful pundits, which have been doing great job. I'm just going to introduce everyone, and they're going to all introduce themselves, and then we'll talk about the juicy topics that we have for today. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Bishop. Would you all please
Yeah.
introduce yourself?
Oh, right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Emeka, and for today, you can call me a Liverpool fan.
Aha. So we have one Liverpool fan representing, and the next person.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oluwaseun Junior, the only one and only official Chelsea fan.
Okay, you've heard it for yourself. We have the one and only official Chelsea fan on 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 the show this evening. Welcome, Junior and
Thank you.
Chigo.
So my name is Chigo. The undisputed Arsenal fan.
Undisputed.
Ask West Ham.
I like your spirit, guys. Welcome to the show. This evening I was just going through the news to see what the hot gist is when it comes to football, but one particular one caught my attention. I'm just going to look at it. We're looking at Scottish Premiership. So I was looking at Chris Boyd and Chris Sutton's team of the season so far. From what I gathered, they have both picked their Scottish Premiership team of the season so far, and as you may expect, they didn't quite see eye to eye. According to Sky Sports, the duo selected the same goalkeeper and midfielder, but there were some disagreements over who should feature in defense and up front. So that's still going to be going on. I'm assuming this is going to be more than we can see. But first of all, before we dive into all the juicy stuff we have to discuss this evening, let me just find out how we all enjoyed our Christmas and our New Year. The last time we had a show, we were just finishing, and then we all went up for the celebrations. I'm assuming everybody had a great time. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Very good
Yeah.
period.
I can see
Yeah.
some puffy chicks. Some people have been eating too much chicken
Time
and all that.
Loads of talking.
Someone like Jose.
with the family. Time with the family. What can I say?
FYI, Gozia is still on holiday. He's actually joining us from his holidays. And
As
you
you see,
can
they're
just
wearing
see him.
hoodies. I'm wearing t-shirts.
You're the man. You're the one enjoying.
That's one of the reasons why I said I want to be like you when I grow up.
I also want you to rethink that.
Okay, that's good.
Right, guys, we have just about an hour to talk about the issues we have today. So we're going to start with, first of all, looking at the current state of the club we all represent. So I'm going to give you all an opportunity to talk about the clubs you represent and tell me exactly what's going on with your clubs. I'm all ears to know what's going on with your clubs, and we look forward to what you have to tell us. Maybe we start with Junior.
Yeah, like I said, I'm the one and only official Chelsea fan presently on this show. So I'm here to represent Chelsea. And currently now, we all know, Chelsea has not been doing too good. We have not been doing too well. Despite the fact that we spend a lot of money before the season starts. And the results we are having now, we are getting is not what we are expecting. But despite that, you can see Chelsea is really presently now going through a lot of injuries, mostly from the defense side, right from the likes of Ben Chilwell, Reece James, Fofana, Cucurella, Bandisile. Almost all my defense are like presently now have an injury. But presently now, I think Chelsea is trying to have presently now Chelsea is trying to buy another player from Benfica. That's Antonio Silva. He's another good defender due to the lack of defense I'm having presently now. Like the likes of Thiago Silva with the age, I think he's 37 or 38. So he's not really performing up to expectation. So Chelsea is trying to buy another defender maybe during the January transfer. But despite that as well, Chelsea is, there's still an investigation going on based on the fact that based on the money Chelsea spend on, before the season starts. So there's still an investigation. If maybe it comes out well, yeah, we are good. But if it doesn't comes out well, Chelsea might be suspended to buy players maybe during the January transfer or even after that. But so far, so good. Chelsea is going through a lot of injury presently now, and it's actually affecting the team. So that's just a bit of the update. But so far, so good, And one thing is just that my team presently now, you can see, they are not really doing well, like I said earlier. But despite that, we are giving some good results, mostly for like teams on unexpected teams, like the like of Man City that I played against. People are already rating Chelsea off, like nothing is going to happen. It's going to be a straight win down for City, and look at what we got, unexpected result. And like when I played Arsenal, something similar, and even against Liverpool as well. Chelsea has been playing too good when it comes to playing the big teams. But when it comes to playing the smaller teams, it has been a very bad result for Chelsea. And I think we have to work very hard if you want to, come up, when it comes to January transfer. So that's just for now on my that's just the current state of my team for now.
Thank you, Junior. From your mouth to their ears, I hope they are listening, and I hope they gather, the suggestions you've given from what you've said to us. Thank you very much.
Sorry, Lydia, can I intercept just for 1 minute and ask Junior a question? Yeah.
Yes, yes, please.
He said that Chelsea is not doing well currently. So I wanted to ask him, so where is the problem? Is it in the defense? Is it in the attack? Where is the problem, and how can you fix that?
Presently, generally when you have a team that is not doing too good, there are some things that you have to look at. One, you have to look at the management, you have to look at the players individually, then you have to look at the collective agenda of the whole team in relation with the management and the player as well. Just like I said, if you look at Chelsea now, most of those players that are playing in Chelsea, they are like a star in their team. Like a player like Nkunku, before he came to Chelsea, was doing so well. Player like Cucurella, before he came to Chelsea, was doing so well. A lot of them. But when they got to Chelsea, it was like a different result because, they are meeting different people, playing with different individuals now. So I think one of the problems is how they find it so difficult to blend with each other. But I think with time, Chelsea is going to be very okay. And as you can see, most of the players, they are young players. They are very, very young players. So they still have a lot of future. They have future to play together. And I'm sure by the time they finish the end of this season, and I think what Chelsea, what Pochettino is trying to build now, he's trying to build a team against next season, not even the present one. Because if you see what he has done, he sold almost all the experience and the senior players in the team. Now bought a new players that he knew that he can blend them together in under one season. Just like what Klopp did when he came to Liverpool. When he got to Liverpool, he doesn't got the result immediately when he gets to Liverpool. The results started coming after 1 or 2 seasons. So I think that's what Pochettino is trying to do now in Chelsea. Selling all the big players, all the big names, and all the senior players. Now getting new and fresh bloods who are doing well in their respective former teams before they got to Chelsea. So I think the problem with Chelsea is having is because they are all different individual players who has never played together. So I think it's going to be a matter of time for them to blend. And,
Okay.
I think at the end of the day, we will get the result, we will get there. But, so far, so good on the table. We are not doing too bad. 10 on the table for a team, like seriously. Like I said, 10 on the table for a team that is coming with a different player, different coach, different management. So that's the thing we have to look at. We have different coach, different management, different players. It's like all our players are just a different set of people. So it's going to take them like a season before they can blend, So that is, I think we just have to give Chelsea a bit of time, maybe after the end of the season. Then probably by next season, the result will start coming, like, I hope.
Okay.
We actually hope so.
We hope so, yeah.
Okay, then.
Okay. I probably will move to Emeka. So tell us about your club. Yeah, and tell us
Okay.
what's going on.
I think in Liverpool, currently, I think we are having the best of times. How long that will last is what I don't know. But for the
Igor is smiling
meantime,
at you. I don't know why he's smiling,
Because it's not a
but
Liverpool fan now.
for now, yeah, just call me a Liverpool fan. I think we're having the best of time, and we've got a very fantastic manager in the person of Jurgen Klopp. I think the difference between Klopp and Pep Guardiola is that Klopp have got a better personality as compared to Pep. Pep is more of a rascal, or like Simeone. He manages to get results every now and then, but then within the team, there might not be the best of relationships. So, but for Jurgen Klopp, I think he's got a better personality and he's able to blend the team together. And you can see that showing out in the pitch when they come out to play, from the keeper to the defense line to the midfield to the strikers. Even when they are building up their play from the back, you can see that everybody understands where everybody's meant to be. When Salah moves, the midfielder already picked it that this is how he's going to run, and they give him the ball. And then from the right hand side, he already calculates, when the other strikers are moving. They just understand themselves. There seems to be this perfect synergy amongst them as a team, and I mean, it's no accident why we are sat first on the table. As if we sneaked in from behind, and while Arsenal and Manchester City are busy, struggling with their
Struggling.
usual demons. We just
I'm
came from
thinking that's
back.
the best thing in the world.
Uh-huh. We just
Yeah.
came from the back and snatched up the first position. And I mean, it's becoming a bit more difficult for some of them to catch up now. My only challenge is that the Nations Cup is coming up, and people like Salah is going away, and I think someone like Endo, the Asian Cup as well is coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's going.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Endo is going as well. So I am looking at
Matt
those.
Gibbs.
Matip is going as well.
Yeah.
So those absences is where my concerns are in the month of January. I don't know how long Egypt will last in the Nations Cup, but I would imagine that Egypt would at least get into the knockout stage, and as well for Cameroon, and then for Endo in the Asian Cup as well. So the more they stay away from England, I think that could affect the results for Liverpool. But I still want to trust Klopp that regardless of what's going on, he's going to be able to motivate people like Nunes, people like Gakpo, people like Diaz to be able to step up and fill the gap for Salah. And at the back line, Konate and Van Dijk can fill the gap at the centre back. And McAllister has just returned back from injury, so I want to believe that even in the center of the him and Zoboslai, and then what another person we decide to put there to make them play, whether Gravenberch or whoever it would be. I want to believe that they will be able to put up a good fight against any opposition we meet. So I'm not 100% confident with results in the month of January because of those absences, but I am partially hoping that Klopp will be able to find a way around it so we can stay on the first position, in spite of what Arsenal and Man City might be planning.
Great. He says partially hoping. Anybody's got anything to say to him?
Mr. Liverpool. Like, so I've got this kind of a simple question to ask you, sir. Like,
Yes.
do you think as Liverpool is more like a cultural football team than being a like okay, let me just speak it from your analysis when you were talking the other time, talking about the kind of person Klopp was is and the kinds of Pep Guardiola is. Yeah, I mean, I felt like you are saying that based on the fact that you are supporting Liverpool at the moment, because when in football, I think it's based on your results. When you are getting this, people don't really care the kind of person you are, or your personality, but I've never even seen Pep to have been that rascal or being rude compared to like of Jose
Ah,
Mourinho.
Pep.
Yeah,
Hey,
you can't compare. You can't compare with the likes of Jose Mourinho. Everybody knows
have
that.
you have you seen what he had
Yeah.
with Kevin De
So
Bruyne at some point?
yeah. He does that with a lot
With
of his
Yaya
players.
Toure,
Look at
Yaya
Yaya
Toure,
Toure. Yeah.
Samuel
Look at
Eto'o.
Abramovich when he was in
Yeah,
when he
what
was
I'll say is that Pep is way more ruthless than Klopp. Klopp at least
yeah.
tries to see if he can get something out of you. He did this with Milner. He came and met Milner, but he used Milner all through that time and made him into a very good player. And
Yeah.
he's been managing a lot of people. Robertson came from Hull City. He transformed him. Like, so he knows how he has the patience for you rather than Guardiola. I think Guardiola sort of writes you off if you can't do.
When you're not giving him the results.
Yeah, like when
I
you
mean,
don't do exactly what he wants you to do, he starts
Yeah.
getting rid of you. So hard, as good as he was at Man City, won the league and all that, he still got rid of him. Why? Because he couldn't play with his feet as good as other keepers who came out after him, Bravo and Ederson. So yeah,
yeah. Look at what he did with Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips
Yeah.
is leaving
yeah,
this January, I think, because he's been there for long.
yeah,
I think he was apologizing to him to say, "I'm sorry for how I treated you." You know, he's just been like that all the
Yeah,
years.
he has done that to a lot of players. Okay, look at what he did to the present. Like now, I think the best player in Chelsea now is Palmer, and he was the one that frustrated Palmer out of the club. You can give
Now
yeah,
you're
like what
talking.
Jose said. Yeah, like what Jose said. He should have been more patient. I think Klopp is just being more patient. When it comes to dealing with player individually than Guardiola. So I think he can give those players more time based on the fact that the age differences. Those guys are still very young. They see they've got the potential, to transform to whatever you want them to be. But I think Klopp is the kind of, I think Pep Guardiola is the kind of player that, it's not really, he doesn't have that real patience,
At
to
all.
understand the fact that
yeah,
he has to give you the time. Just want you to give him the result. He's a result-driven person. Like, he just want to have, that immediate result. And that's why you can
yes,
see in the next one season, you will see Man City going there because he has got more of older players in the team than younger players. It's just now that he's just trying to blend the likes of Alvarez, Foden, just trying to blend them so that the team can
yeah,
start the
Matthias
future.
Nunes, yeah,
Yeah, but if you look at his team, like Rodri is a senior player. Kovacic, I don't even see why he has to go and buy the guy because he's a senior player. Look at the likes
He's
of
not doing
Kevin De
anything in
Bruyne.
Man City. Kovacic.
Yeah, look at Walker. Almost all those players are just like a senior and old players. It
yeah,
doesn't really,
Bernardo
it's not really
Silva,
like a patient player, like a patient code that will give a player, the time, to blend and do, just like in the case of Klopp, like we said, Klopp will just give you the time and put you straight to what he wants you to just do until you get that result. Just like the way the Salah is delivering now. You get. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I think for me, I didn't really see future in this present Man City team, except they find something doing on time.
Mm.
Great stuff. Okay, so let's move over to Arsenal. Chigo, tell us
mm-hmm.
what's going on with your
Yeah,
team.
yeah. I'll say, yeah. So with Arsenal, we've not had I think our past, say, 3 games. I think 3 games or 2 games. I think we've lost our last 2 games, and I think drew the other one to Liverpool. The Liverpool one, I see that's three bad results. People see the Liverpool one as a positive, but I'm more angry that I drew to Liverpool again. So I got the same result that I got last season. I don't really care if it's Anfield or anything.
Was that your prediction? Remember when we did the prediction last time?
Oh,
Did you?
I said 2-1 or something. I think I said 2-1. Yeah. I think I said 2-1 to Arsenal.
You always
Yeah.
say 2-1.
Sorry?
I said he always say 2-1.
No. It's to the Liverpool game I'm saying 2-1.
Yes,
Because obviously
yes,
it's Anfield. You have to think you won't go there and score 3-1, 4-1. So I'm expecting I'll just take 2-1. So that was what I was expecting, 2-1. So, but for the fact that we didn't win that, it was disappointing for that one. Then for I think we played a team
Newcastle.
before West Ham. Sorry?
I think you played Newcastle earlier before West Ham.
No, not Newcastle. It wasn't Newcastle. We played Newcastle earlier in the season. It was another team we played before West Ham. We played West Ham, then we played Fulham.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Fulham.
Yeah,
Fulham.
so West Ham then
Fulham.
Fulham. So the West Ham game, the likes of Kudus, Paqueta stepped up. Even our former player Mavropanos scored a header against us as well. So West Ham are doing really well. I think they are fifth on the table. I think they're fifth or sixth or seventh, either around that. So they're really doing well. Fulham as well. They've been doing well, scoring. I know there was a run of games
Highest
that they
goal.
scored like
Five.
they were scoring like
4
five.
goals.
I think they
Yeah,
were winning teams like 5-1, 5-0. I was like,
they
how are they
had they
scoring
had the
five?
highest number of goals this season than any other Premiership team.
Yeah,
Because
exactly. So
in less
they've been
than
a
3
team.
matches, they had 12 goals in 3 matches.
Yeah, they've been a team that have been balling now. And also the thing that I've also taken into consideration is that it has been London derbies. Like those have been London derbies. West Ham is a London
Yeah.
derby to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Fulham is a London derby to Arsenal. So it's not going to be any normal game. The fans won't let it be any normal game. It's a rivalry. So I feel, except that, I feel like on our part, we could have done way better than we did. I think a lot of players they are not at the levels they were of last season. And I think it's due to lack of competition. And that's why I think we need wings in terms of Saka and Martinelli. We need depth on our wings. Like, I'm looking at players such as Nico Williams, players such as there's a player called Jegrova in Lille, in France. So those are two good wingers that I would like Arsenal to get in, say, whether January or summer transfer window, whichever one. But those are, I think we just need competition to keep these players in check, because I think it's a sort of, they're too relaxed and letting their position, because they know if you know no one else is going to take your shirt away from you, you're going to still know you're going to play the next game. So you might as well just play relaxed. And playing that relaxed makes you drop a level. So I think that's what is letting us be where we are at this point in time. And I think I heard some journalists saying Ben White is carrying an injury. Saka is also carrying an injury, Achilles. I think there was a stat I saw earlier on today that Saka has been the most fouled player in the Premier League, but the player who's fouled him have only got a yellow card 3 times. He's been fouled up to say 43 times this season.
So people get away with it.
And people get away with it. So, and he has Achilles. So the Achilles is like just at the back of so just close to your ankle. So that's where you see like people are treading on his leg. So I think that he's having a recurring injury now with it, that they are trying to manage him and still try to get him fit to play games. So I think that is adding drop to his game. We're just looking at him and thinking it's just him, but also he's nursing an injury and trying to be fit to play games. So I just feel after we play Liverpool at home in the FA Cup, then we go on to warm weather training in Dubai, I think. So I think we should be able to recoup our strength there, have a little bit of strength and conditioning training, and then try and get back to the levels we are. But I think this January we need some reinforcements to be able to push us over the line if we're to really stake strong competition for the league this season.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Let me please, if you don't mind. Let me ask Gozie a question, yeah.
Okay.
Gabriel Jesus recently said something on social media that he doesn't think he is somebody who is interested in scoring goals. So my question is, why are you guys still sticking him up front as your top striker when he is not even interested? Yeah, he's not even interested
it's the
in
same
scoring.
thing
That's one. Then two is people are calling for Arteta sack. I've heard that, especially in the recent.
Those are very reactionary fans. Those are reactionary fans. It's so quick. You've drawn a game and lost 2 games. And I think Man City, how many games did he lose or draw? They didn't call for Pep's head or something. So I don't even know why that is coming up at this point.
Pep we are talking about.
Yeah, I know it, but still, it was a worse run than Arsenal is having now. A draw and 2 losses. That literally what stopped us from being top of the league at this point. A draw and 2 losses. So I think Pep had worse when he lost to Wolves, lost to us, Then I think he also lost the Carabao Cup as well to, I've forgotten whether it was Newcastle or someone. But yeah, so other teams have also had their bad runs, and I think it's our time of having those kind of runs. But I think, as I said, the warm weather camp will help us recuperate. Then, what on your first point, I'll say the Gabriel Jesus thing is the lack of competition. Nketiah isn't of the levels to really push Jesus. Nketiah is an alright striker. Like, he's someone, if he goes to a Crystal Palace, he goes to a West Ham, I think he'll push them.
Well.
Yeah, he'll perform well. He'll push them higher up the table a little bit. So he's that kind of player, but he's not that person to push Jesus out of the starting lineup. He's not just there yet. He's not there yet. So that's why I feel, this is why I've been saying competition is what will make this player step up more. If there was a striker that was scoring goals, Gabriel Jesus won't say Gabriel Jesus will basically say what he said, because he needs to also stake a claim by scoring goals and putting up assists to be able to start ahead of that person competing with him. So that's what it is. I think it's the lack of competition that's making them drop a level. That, as I said earlier. So, and Jesus, the kind of striker he is, he hasn't really been a goal-scoring striker. He's a guy that usually drops deep. Then Saka and Martinelli are the guys who are getting more numbers than him. And I think the thing that deterred Jesus in his numbers are injuries. Like last season during the World Cup, he had the injury. Then earlier on this season, he had a few injuries until the Man U game where he did that Dallo, then scored. And I think he got another injury again, but came back. So he's just having some stop-start moments. In the Champions League, he's been good, but in the Premier League, he definitely has to improve on that. Same with Martinelli. And Saka is doing quite well, but due to the injuries, there's still a drop in level. So let's see.
Okay, great. We really need to start running.
I think I have a question. I think I have a question for Gozi. Like, my own simple question is that do you think Arsenal is still going to, or do you think Arsenal is still going to win the league, or do we end up the way they ended last season?
I won't say end up the way they ended up last season. Today, this one is a 3-horse race, as we can see. Liverpool are strongly in it. So it won't just be 2-horse race where one team drops and the other team takes over. It won't just be that. So I think it will be a back and forth thing. Man City have had their back and forth this season. Liverpool are having an up right now. So let's see how it goes in the second half of the season. As you said, I think the Asian Cup and the
African
Cup of Nations, I think it's 5 Premier League games or so. The whole competition, it will take 5 Premier League games. If their teams go far, if their countries go far, that's 5 Premier League games without those key players for Liverpool. So let's see what happens, really.
But do you know Onana is not playing the first match for Cameroon because they have to hold him up for the first match for their next Premiership match.
Yeah.
So it's going to Cameroon for the second match of the against Guinea, I guess.
The competition.
Anyway, maybe when we get to the African Cup of Nations and
that's the thing. I think this African Cup of Nations and the Asian Cup, I would have preferred it if it was done in the summer. It would have been a better thing. I think the Euros is being done in the summer, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you might as well do like continental cups, like continental nations cups.
Everybody plays their own league at their respective continents at the summer.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone does it during the summer. Then you leave players to stay at their clubs because it interrupts the flow of a team. But let's see how things go, honestly. I don't think Arsenal. I think the only player it will affect with us is Tomiyasu. Nketiah. I know he accepted Ghana, I think, but he was called up for England not too long ago, so I don't think he's going for Ghana or anything at this point.
I think Ghana called him, but he has not responded yet, and they are giving.
Yeah, he hasn't responded because he was called up for England as well, and he went for England and all. So let's see how that one goes. But it's Tomiyasu for us with Japan, and though Partey has been injured already, so it's not like we are really missing him because he's not been there. So yeah, so this is what I'm saying. if we had at least the depth of Partey as well in midfield, it would have done a lot for us as well. Someone like
Yeah, but
Partey that,
you have been screaming rice, rice, rice. Yeah.
Not really rice.
yeah, that's why I
But
say that's why I say depth. Like to be able to take out some players.
sorry, Gose. Sorry, I think
Yeah.
in the beginning of the season, Rice was doing good. But to me, I just felt like the guy just been overhyped. I don't know. I'm talking based on my own personal perspective. I just feel like Rice has just been overhyped. Just like you talk about in earlier, like is the kind of player that can lift teams like maybe Wolves, Burnley.
You can't
to the
talk
kind of
about
place.
Rice and talk about Nketiah. It doesn't
Oh,
correlate.
no.
Because
Like what
Rice
I'm
is
saying is his performances in West Ham compared to what he's playing in Arsenal. I felt like it's just two different
Too
kind
hype.
of Like
but that's
he
the
was
thing.
playing, he
How
was
many
performing so
games
well
did
in
you
West
just
Ham, but in Arsenal, I didn't see him. I haven't seen his more impact. I've not really seen his impact in Arsenal. I don't know. Maybe the way I've been looking at him though.
Yeah, that's the thing. In West Ham, he had to do absolutely everything in West Ham. He had to be the defensive midfielder. He had to be the central midfielder that carried the ball. He had to be the attacking midfielder. So you will see him way more than in Arsenal, where he's told to do one role, then another person does another role, and another person does another role in midfield. The roles are shared in midfield. In West Ham, the way they play is a whole nother kind of system where you need to play with your instinct. If you don't have a good enough instinct, you will just fall back as a player. If you don't have a strong mentality, you'd fall back due to the way West Ham was playing last season. Like, I think they finished in the bottom half, like low in the bottom half, but they still won the what do you call it? The what do they call the cup again? Yeah, the Conference League.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, conference.
Yeah, and I think Rice did like 2 individual goals in that same Conference League. Him playing as a DM, he's still able to do a box-to-box job as well. So that's the thing we're playing at West Ham. But Arsenal, they're designated to one role. He didn't play well in the West Ham game, but that's the thing. You won't call a lot of. You need to pick the number of games you say Rice didn't play well for Arsenal. Won't be more than 3 games. Like, and I think he's only been probably 2 games, or even only the West Ham game. I've said the Fulham
Because of
game,
what he had to be doing.
yeah, maybe the Fulham game. I didn't really say anything he did wrong in the Fulham game, but I'll say definitely the West Ham game. I think he caused a penalty that they got a penalty at the last part of the game that Benrahma missed. Yeah. So I'll probably say that West Ham game is the standout game where I'll say he didn't do well in that game. But except that, you can't really say any game. If you look at his ratings in all the games he's played this season, it's been 8s and 7s and 9s. So we can't really bring him into overrated and all that. Rice has been one of the best players in the league this season. So we can't.
Rice has been swelling.
So he deserves the
And the
hype.
rice has been swelling like normal rice cooking.
It's just teasing. Great. Thank you so much, Chigo, for that update. So let's move ahead. We still have a lot to cover. We're looking at the FA Cup. We're looking at the 3rd round fixtures this week. So let's try to get the predictions. What do we think? What are we expecting for the 3rd round fixtures this week?
Yeah. I think there's a match today, Crystal Palace Everton. Yeah, I think there's a Crystal Palace Everton today. And if you look at FA Cup naturally, I think one thing I like about FA Cup is just like is a blend of the whole English team. You get regardless of where you are on the table. Probably you are playing the Champions League, maybe you are playing League One, or maybe you are in the the real Premier League. You get it's just like a blending, and it makes me love that kind passion. Like he's just trying to like portray the English team that no team is being, you can't just write off anything.
Ignored.
Like that. So they make all the teams to be more relevant. And just imagine Brentford is playing against Wolves. You can see, all those players, Rodian, Pazot, even a lot of teams that I even don't know. That you just look at,
you see them.
It just maybe probably you had about okay, like tomorrow, Coventry is playing against Oxford. Where is Oxford playing from? You get, but But the only Oxford I know is the Oxford University anyway.
Yes.
So, but nevertheless, the prediction is just going to be like the way it has always been. Most of the big teams will always dominate. But the one they are playing today, like Crystal Palace Everton, is going to be a very difficult one. You know, Crystal Palace, Everton, you know, the two teams are in Premier League presently now. And respectively, Crystal Palace is still doing very better than Everton. I think so.
Yeah.
So to me, I think it's going to be end up like a 2-1 in favor of Crystal Palace. And the most important one about the whole, you know, FA Cup and third round is Arsenal versus Liverpool that's going to play on Sunday, I guess.
Yeah.
And that one is going to be a
Arsenal
very
have lost already.
no, but you know one thing about it is if you look at FA, all those big players doesn't use their first 11, so you can't because of that, you know, write off a team because Arsenal is not coming with the first 11 because they will never even want to risk a lack of Saka or Tomiyasu or Gabriel Jesus. They will never want to risk any of them for FA Cup. No, they won't want to do that. And the same way, Liverpool will not even want to risk any of their best player.
Yeah, I think we wouldn't want to risk it if it wasn't. I think one thing I said earlier was that Arsenal don't have as much depth, and again, you look at the quality of team you're going to play against. Who are you playing in Carabao Cup this weekend? Chelsea.
I think Bristol or something like that.
So if Arsenal had to play Bristol now, would have definitely played the second team, definitely. But with playing against a Liverpool, you have to play a better team. And the fact that both of you are going for the league, you'd want to have some kind of mental advantage over them. A mental
Chico, we can't hear you anymore.
You're muted.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so I think last season, I don't know why we always get tough teams early on in the FA Cup. We got Man City last season. This season, we are getting Liverpool. So earlier on in the FA Cup. So now we'll have to play Liverpool. And I feel we'll just have to set out a strong team. I feel Liverpool as well set out a strong team. Like Man City, they set out a strong team when they played us in the FA Cup last season. Haaland started, Alvarez started, all of them started. They started because they wanted to beat us and get it into our heads that they've beaten us. And I think that went on long term as well. But you just have to get that mental advantage over the team, especially a team you're competing with for the league. So you have to want to beat them in the FA Cup. And I think it will be an intense game. I think it's the game to watch in this FA Cup round.
Yeah.
So
what's going to be your prediction for Arsenal Liverpool? 2-1, like always.
I'll probably say because it's at the Emirates, I'll probably say 3-1.
3-1. Okay, this time in favor of Arsenal, right?
Let's ask the Liverpool fan for today.
So
what's your prediction?
Yeah.
For the Arsenal Liverpool.
Yeah, Arsenal is winning 3-1. So that's why I said 3-1, because Arsenal is the home team. So 3-1 to Arsenal.
Liverpool, what do you say?
Yeah, definitely. Arsenal is going to lose the match, and I'll tell you the reason why. Number one is that Emirates, their home. They'll be at home, but their home fans are not as noisy as you would see in Anfield when you come to play in Liverpool or in some clubs like AC Milan. You know, the kind of noise you'll be hearing. You know, you will to even hold the ball for 2 seconds, you'll be afraid. You know, but Arsenal, they are not like that. So home advantage doesn't really come into play for me in that competition and in that match this weekend. But I think Arsenal will lose because their players are not in their best of forms. So that's going to be a factor. People like Saka, even Martinelli is not in his best of forms. Gabriel Jesus have already told us he's not interested in scoring goals. So where would the 3-1 come from?
But he scored at Anfield last season. Let's not forget that.
That's last season. We're talking of this season.
But I'm just letting you know that he scored at Anfield against the same Liverpool you're talking about.
Yeah, he told us now that he's not interested in scoring goals anymore. So we can't be considering him as a threat.
He didn't say anymore, but
well, that's how he made him look. And even
so what's
in the
the
sense of My
Now,
Yeah,
prediction would
what's
be
your
oh,
prediction?
okay.
my prediction would be Liverpool 2, Arsenal 0.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. We really need to be
I-
running now. I don't want us to dwell on that. You've given your prediction, Junior. You've given your prediction, Chigo, and then you've given yours. Right now, I like to sit on the fence because I don't want anybody to beat me in the end. Right, but I want us to touch on Chelsea and Preston on the 6th. What are your predictions? Chelsea and Preston.
That's gonna be a
Okay.
win down. That's gonna be a win down for Chelsea, like 3-0, obviously.
I'll say
Okay.
Chelsea. I'll say Chelsea 1-0 because I
Why
don't
would
really
you?
know. No, I'm saying Chelsea is still winning, but 1-0 because I don't know what. Because you see a lot of shock losses in this competition. So let's see how it goes. And you've been earlier on in the show, you said Chelsea haven't been doing well. Yeah, I expect you to beat Preston, but I don't know what they've been really doing this season. I haven't followed them. So I'll say you win. So 1-0 or probably 2-0. But
Yeah,
I don't know what Preston will put up. So
I'm not going to be against that because right now Chelsea front men has not they've not been in their right form because I don't
yeah.
know likes of Jackson. Anyway, I think Jackson has gone to AFCON anyway. He has gone to AFCON.
Okay.
He's in Senegal right
I'm sure
now
you're
with his
happy.
I'm very, very happy, like seriously. Very, very happy. I don't know why. I'm a Chelsea fan and I think I have to love all my players. But in the case of Jackson, I don't see him as a player. This is the kind of striker that will lose 4 goals out of 5. Then he sees 5 chances, he will lose 6. He will even go and look for another one. No, I don't know. I don't understand him. Like, and if you look at if you watch Chelsea last match that we played against
Luton.
Luton. Imagine Luton is even coming from behind. They even want to come and equalize it and make the game 2-2. When Jackson has
Wow,
almost
that
taken
game
1-1.
that game was interesting. That game was
I'm
interesting.
telling you, when Jackson have more than 2 or 3 1-on-1s, even there was a point that he has an FC post, he has even beaten the keeper only for him to just put the ball inside the net. He find it so difficult. So I don't see
Yeah.
Jackson as a striker. So if you say Chelsea is going to win 1-0, yeah, you might be right, but all I know is Chelsea is going to win.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
Chelsea
great.
is going to win.
Emeka, what's your prediction for us?
I think Chelsea will boss them around.
Chelsea and
And
Preston.
I think in the first half, Preston will put up a fight, but then as the game will go on, Chelsea will take over. So the game might end up 3-1, Chelsea.
3 to Chelsea and
1 to Preston.
Wow. Okay. That's a very generous prediction. Okay. We are running
Most of everybody
out.
supporting Chelsea.
Because you're playing Preston now.
For the first
Now that
time,
we are supporting
I'd
you,
say.
don't go and let us down. No?
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Let's run out and see what
Because
we can cover.
if Preston beat you, I'll be on the group chat.
Before you get to the group chat, I know what to do. Don't worry.
Okay, so let's look at African Cup of Nations on our expectations. Who do we think will win the trophy, and why do you think so?
Yeah, the African
Nigeria.
Cup of Nations is going to be a very interesting. It's going to be a very interesting one because if you look at it from the very group stage, Group 1, when we have Ivory Coast, Equatorial Guinea, Gusau, then I think Nigeria. Then in Group B, where we have Cape Verde, Egypt, Ghana, Mozambique. Then in Group C, when we have the likes of Cameroon, Gambia, Guinea, Brazzaville, and Senegal. You know, like in Group A, I think I'm sure Ivory Coast and Nigeria will escape through. In Group B, and I think Egypt and Ghana will escape through ahead of Cape Verde. Anyway, Cape Verde has been doing so good when it comes to African competition now. To be very frank, Cape Verde has been doing so good, but despite that, you can't leave Egypt and Ghana in a group and pick Cape Verde ahead of them. Then in Group C, when we have Cameroon, Gambia, Guinea, and Senegal, I think Cameroon and Senegal is going to, come out in the group and get to the round of this thing. Then in Group D, when we have Algeria, Angola, Burkina Faso, and Mauritania, I think I'm going to go with Algeria and Burkina Faso because right now, even in Premiership, we've got a lot of good players that are playing in Premiership in their different perspective team that comes from Burkina Faso. The likes of Traoré, Cabo, and a lot of them. Even in France, you see a lot of Burkina Faso players, even more than I think even right now, I think Burkina Faso players, they are one of the African players that play outside Africa, that plays in Europe ahead of most of African players. So most of their players are now exposed and, played in international and big clubs. So I think Burkina Faso and Nigeria will scrape through in Group D. Then also in Group E, where we have Mali, Namibia, South Africa, and Tunisia. It's going to be a very tough group for them because we have the likes of Mali, South Africa, and Tunisia. But to me, I think I'm going to go for Tunisia first because of their kind of player. And if you look at all Northern African team, all Northern African team, they play more like an European, style of play than an African physical football. Because if you see the proper African football is more physical than the Northern African. So I think with that technicality in Tunisia, they're still going to scrape through in the group ahead of South Africa and Mali. So I'm thinking, I think I have to pick Mali because they're in a better form now than South Africa. Because when it comes to African football now, South Africa is not doing so well. Then in the last group, when we have Dr. Congo, we have Morocco, Tanzania, and Zambia. Then I think we have to pick. I think Morocco and Zambia will scrape through in that group. I think those two teams are doing very well. But going to the final, I think I have to. I don't want to be selfish because right now I think we've got a lot of. If you look at African football now and the players, we are doing so well. Outside Africa, we are doing so well. I'm talking about individually, but right now, and I think Nigeria has got one of the best squads in Africa. The likes of Victor Osimhen, who happened to be the African Best Player of the Year. Then we have the likes of Victor Boniface, who happened to be who happens to be German. I think he's the German high goal scorer so far. And we've got the likes of Chukwuemeka also, who is playing in AC Milan and doing so fine. Then we've got the likes of Lukman Aruna, who is also doing so fine. Then we've got the likes of Alex Iwobi, who is perfectly doing well in Fulham. We have the likes of Ndidi, but right now the news is giving us that Ndidi doesn't want to go to Nations Cup based on the fact that Arsenal, like I think Baka is bidding for him right now, and they want him to come as soon as possible, if possible with January. And if he comes to African Cup of Nations, it's very difficult for him to make it up to them. That is if Nigerian, scale through to the final. So by the time he comes back, the January window transfer will have been closed. So I'm not sure if Ndidi, according to the news, will still go. But right now, I think it's in the cap with them. But, news giving us that it's still being like, just being not sure if it's still going to be, still be active during the African Cup of Nations. So I think, to me, I will pick Nigeria to get to the final stage because of their present performances. I'm talking individually.
Who will win?
Yeah, that's where I'm going to. I'm just trying to cut it down. So I'm just trying like Nigeria, and I think I'm going to pick Nigeria and Morocco to get to the final because of Morocco performances. In the last World Cup, they've played so incredibly well. And if I won't be selfish, looking at the way North Africans team plays. They have more like an European style of football. So it's going to be a very difficult match between Nigeria and Morocco if you get to the final. And to me, I think I'm going to go for Morocco if I won't be selfish. I think Morocco is going to get the trophy because I'm talking based on their performances, in the World Cup and even in the group stage at the AFCON qualifier so far. So I'm picking Morocco, and Nigeria as the runner-up, and if possible, Ivory Coast, as in the top position.
Great. I know that we are fast spent. Before we proceed, I just wanted to mention to our viewers that we would like to get your comments and your opinion and what you think about all that we've been discussing so far. You can send us a chat on our platform, YouTube or Facebook, whichever one you're watching on. Just put a comment down. Let us know what you think. Alternatively, you can also give us a call on 07417 428537. Repeat the number again, 07417 428537. So that is our contact details. If you just want to give us a call and let us know what your thoughts are or comment on the group. We're just going to try and go as fast as we can to finish up for the evening. But let's go down to Emeka. Let's know what your thoughts are on the African Cup.
Okay, for me, I'll go straight to the point. I will go for Senegal. Senegal to win the competition. I think Senegal has been more consistent at the African level. Yeah, Morocco played quite well in the World Cup, but I think at the African Cup of Nations level, they haven't been the best. And again, Ziyech, in his current club, I'm quite sure that they are thinking about, you know, sacking him, asking him to get out of the club and all of that. So he's not been in the best of form now. Even their keeper Bono, I think he's gone to Saudi Arabia now. I think he's more all about the money now, packing the money. So I think Morocco might not be the Morocco we saw in the World Cup in this African Cup of Nations. Then for Nigeria, I think Nigeria will struggle even from the group stage because Ivory Coast are the hosts, and then they are in the same group with Nigeria. I don't think that's going to be an easy, and especially all these Guinea-Bissau, Guinea, this Guinea. They are a difficult team to play against. No popular name there, but very compact and very difficult to break down. So it's not going to be easy for Nigeria. So for me,
I think for Guinea there's Naby Keita for one of the Guineas.
Yeah, that's Guinea Equatorial
okay,
Guinea.
yeah,
Naby Keita.
yeah, that's the only popular name you
It's
can
actually
put.
it's actually in Nigerian group anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Senegal for me.
Great. Chigo, what's your prediction for the Africa Cup of Nations? We're looking at our expectation. Who do you think will win the trophy and why do you think so?
For me, I'd like to think it's Nigeria to win it this time around because I feel we have one thing that we surely have is the attack. We have a really, really strong attack. We have a lot of players that are really, really good in attack. We have a lot of strikers. And I feel that's one thing. If you look around other teams in the African Cup of Nations, that's one thing you don't hardly see in all the teams. They don't really have a point man, like a striker. But Nigeria has Osimhen, we have Boniface, we have
Sadiq Umar.
Yeah, there are just a lot of players.
A lot of players.
Yeah, like in midfield, we have Iheanacho, we have Iwobi, we have Ndidi, we have Samuel Chukwueze, we have Moses Simon. We just have a lot of players around.
Nigeria has been struggling all along.
Oh yeah, I know. And
even one thing, small team,
like all these players. What I'll say, is one thing with Liverpool is that they've had firepower up front. You have a lot of good attackers. You have a lot of good strikers alone. You have Salah, you have Gakpo, you have Jota, you have Luis Diaz, you have Nunez. Even though Nunez is not rated by a lot of people, you have you just have a lot of potent attackers that if they get a chance, they will score. People like Jota, Salah, those are clutch players. You have Nigeria has the likes of Osimhen, you have the likes of Iheanacho, you have the likes of Samuel Chukwueze. In midfield as well, you're not dormant there. You also have Iwobi, you have Johari, you have Johari. You have Oyekachi, you have Joharibo, you have Ndidi, you have Ndidi there as well. So I feel
but we had all these players and yes, we were struggling.
Yeah, we had all these players and yes, we were struggling. But I feel we didn't get to the point where our player was a standout. Osimhen was a standout last season, and I think he will continue in that same train. I think he will go on like that as well in this competition to try and stamp his authority in African competitions as well. I think that's what we'll be looking to do this time around.
Yeah, sorry, one additional thing, like I just want to buttress what Gozia said, because when it comes to Nigerian football team, the Nigerian Super good team, like I said, that we've got, but the only thing I'm just looking at is that we like this kind of defensive mentality, because I think only from the back we only have the major player I think we have at the back is just what's it called, Calvin Bassey, the Fulham, defender.
There's Ola Aina at left back.
But Ajayi is not really doing so well in his team according to. And if you look at the other players like Omeru is a senior player, I don't see why they bring Omeru or Ekong to the national to that kind of competition. And even right now, I think they are bringing Musa again. Musa was once retired, they brought him back, and they left a lot of players who are still in their forms, young players who are still in their forms, who are still doing very pretty well in their clubs. They left them behind, and they had to go and bring 3 old players who are not really doing well, even in their local leagues. They left them behind.
Yeah.
One thing I don't like about Super Eagles right now is the fact that they are neglecting home-based players. If you look at other African countries now, like, okay, let me give you an example of South Africa. Now, in this competition that they are going to, South Africa has got over 13 home-based players now going to African Cup of Nations, including Ghana itself. Ghana has got like almost 4 or 5 home-based players going to, but only in Nigeria they have just one person who is the third goalkeeper. That's the goalkeeper for Yimba. He's the third goalkeeper going for African Cup of Nations. So that is actually not even helping. It's not helping football in Nigeria as a whole. But regardless,
because that
things
would
I
be
think
a
we are
way.
going to have.
Because using your homegrown or home-based players is a way to
give them this view.
You kind of market them for European teams to look at and take them on, build them, train people to get to a certain level, and they will still represent the country as well. Yeah, and I think that's the area that I feel will struggle at is in defense. Really, Arsenal, I feel like Nigeria a lot. We play a lot of like muscle kind of football. We play a lot of muscle kind of football, and that sometimes leads to us sitting back a lot of times. But I feel with the kind of players we have now in front, I think we want to be more on the front foot, and that will leave the defense exposed a bit more. That's the only downside to me talking about Nigeria's chances of winning this competition. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I feel that's the only place we'll struggle in. But in terms of midfield, especially attack, I think we're potent in that area.
Well, thank you very much, guys. If you've just joining us or you've been watching, this whole production has been coming to you from Jubilee Christian Center, Coventry, and this is Jubilee Sport Extra. We have a few other points we were not able to cover today, like Wayne Rooney being sacked as Varian FC manager, and the question is why it has been so hard for former managers, former players to fit into management position or at the top level. We would keep that thought for next time. But at this point, I would like to hand over to Bishop Emeka to tell us about Jubilee Christian Center bringing you the Sport Extra.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you for making our time to be a part of this broadcast. We've thoroughly enjoyed our time with you. I think it's very important we let you know, just like our host did say, that this show is brought to you by RCCG, Jubilee Christian Center Coventry, the House of Prayer. Our church is located at East Street, 31 to 42 East Street, and the postcode would be CV1 5LS. So that would be Charlie Victor 1 5 Lima Sierra. In case you want to visit us anytime, feel free to do so. We'll be much, very excited to have you join us for our Sunday services, which start 11 a.m. every Sunday, 11 to 1 p.m. We look forward to seeing you this Sunday. That will be our Thanksgiving service. We're having Darren Justified as a guest minister for that service. And permit me again to, I can see somebody giving me a sign of traditional. Yeah, feel free to wear your traditional attire. 1,500.
I'm about to hire my clothes anyway.
Look at that. You're planning from today.
Fantastic. It's going to be a fantastic service. I can't miss it. Serious. I must not.
I'm going to change my wardrobe then.
Okay, good to see you. Can't wait to see you then.
Fantastic. Just before we go, for everyone who is watching, permit us to ask you gently and very quietly, if for any reason whatsoever, if you have not given your life to Christ, if you are at that junction in life where it looks as if your relationship with God is not in the best of forms or shape, um, feel free to join us as we pray together. If also you are struggling with your Christian life and you might want to rededicate your life to God, I would like to let you know that we can pray with you right now, and God will step into your life and make it better. Let's bow down our heads as we pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we ask
Amen.
for every of our listener, every of our viewer who is at a point in their lives where they would want to give their lives to Christ. Father, we ask that wherever they are, you will accept them even now. I mean, permit me to ask you to pray along with me. Just say after me, say, Lord Jesus, I know I'm a sinner and I ask for your mercy. Cleanse me with your blood. As from now, I say no to sin and I say yes to Jesus. Thank you, Father, for answered prayers. In Jesus'
Amen.
mighty name, I pray. Amen. And if you're
Amen.
Amen.
struggling with your
Amen.
Christian life, your prayer life, for any reason whatsoever, I also pray with you right now. We pray with you that the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ will come upon you. And wherever you are
Amen.
struggling in your walk with God, every friction you're experiencing right now, as from this hour, that friction is now lubricated in the mighty
Amen.
name
Amen.
of Father. We
Amen.
give you praise, we give you glory.
Thank you,
In
Jesus.
Thank
Jesus'
you,
mighty name,
Lord.
pray.
Thank you.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Great stuff, guys. Thank you so much. Great stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you so
See
much
you guys
for
in the next
joining
edition.
us. Thank you to
See you on
all our
Sunday.
viewers. And thank
No
you for
worries.
all my powerful pundits. It was great spending this time with you. And thank you,
Yes.
IT.
Liverpool.
Thank you,
The media
IT.
team, thank you so much.
Bye.
All right,
Bye.
everyone. Till next month, we'll see you on Jubilee Sport Extra. My name is Livia. Good night.
Bye. Bye.